Hey everyone, so I'm back again today with another beauty on a budget makeup tutorial. As requested for this look, I've chosen Makeup Academy, also known as MUA. It cost me only €23.73 to create this entire makeup look, and if you'd like to see how, then just keep watching. I'm starting off with the brows first. The brow product that I wanted to use was out of stock whenever I checked, so I decided to improvise by mixing this ash brown eyeshadow and this pressed powder together to create a shade that was suitable for my brows. I start by defining the base of the brow. Once I have that baseline created, I use small strokes to push the colour up through the brow. Then, with whatever product is left on my brush, I use this to shape the brow. The lighter the hand you use, the more natural the brows will appear. I always say how important it is to prime the eye for your shadows. Don't fret if you don't own an eyeshadow primer, you can get the same effect by using some foundation and then a powder to set that on top. At this point you can use the foundation to further sculpt the brow, and then that'll clean up any mistakes that you may have made. To set the foundation in place, I'm going to go in with a white eyeshadow, and this is going to double up as our brow bone highlight as well, so I'm applying it under the arch of the brow and all the way across the eyelid. I'm taking this shimmery purple eyeshadow and I'm going to apply this all over the eyelid using patting motions to prevent fallout. To ensure that you get a nice even coverage all over the lid, flip the brush upside down and use the tip of the brush to get right into that upper lash line. For this particular look, it's not disastrous if the upper lash line is a little bit patchy, as we'll be using a black eyeshadow there later on. For crease work, you always want to build your colours from light to dark, so firstly I'm taking this salmon shade and applying it into the crease of the eye. I'm blending my eyeshadow up quite far. How far you blend your eyeshadows will all depend on your eye shape, so just tailor the look to suit yourself. Next I'm taking that same brown eyeshadow that I used on my brows, and this time I'm just using it to elongate the eye, so as usual I'm just pulling the eyeshadow out towards the end of my brow. Once I have that line laid down, I'm then taking a little more of the brown and I'm blending it from that line across into the crease of the eye. If you have small eyes, another way to elongate them is to keep your darker shadows to the outer corner of the eye. Use your iris as a guide and stop blending there. Because my eyes are quite large, I'm just going to take the colour all the way across into the crease. Using the black eyeshadow next, I'm going to draw a sideways V on the outer corner of my eye, and then I'm going to lightly start to soften the edges. Black is quite a hard colour to blend, which is why I went in with the salmon and brown eyeshadows first. When working with a black eyeshadow, just take a small amount on your brush at a time and build up the intensity. I still am working with the same small amount of black I applied on the eye first. Then I'm just taking my blending brush and I'm going to further diffuse the edges. Once I'm happy with the blend, I'm going to repeat the process. So I'm taking a little more black eyeshadow to intensify that outer corner a bit further, and then I'm using my fluffy blending brush to ensure we have no harsh lines. I'm going to define the upper lash line now using an angled brush and that same black eyeshadow. Once I've applied the shadow, I'm going to smudge it out a bit, and that's going to give us a slightly grungy look. I still want the lash line defined however, so I'm going to reapply the black, but as close to the lash line as I can get it. With the eyeliner that came with the eyeshadow palette, I'm using that to line my waterline, and then I'm going to slightly smudge it underneath the lower lash line with that same angled brush. I'll come back to finish the eyes at the end, so for the minute I'm going to move on to the face. The foundation I picked was from the Undress Your Skin line of products. At £5 it was the most expensive foundation on the site, but it was the only foundation that had a porcelain shade, so naturally that was the one I went for. I was slightly surprised by the coverage of the foundation. It's a light to medium coverage, but it's buildable and it doesn't cake up on the skin. The shade for me is near enough to perfect, which is astonishing really, because I can never find a foundation pale enough for my skin, especially not a budget one anyway. I love everything about this foundation pretty much besides the packaging. The tube is really squishy, so when you are twisting off the cap you can accidentally squeeze out a lot of the product, so just bear that in mind. To warm up the skin and to add a bit of definition to my face, I'm using the pressed powder in the shade 4, and I'm taking this on a contour brush and I'm applying it to the hollows of my cheeks. If you have gone a little overboard, don't worry, just go back in with your foundation brush and buff out the product, and then you can go back in and re-blend with your contour brush. I'm going to take it up onto the temples as well, and I'm going to go along the jawline, and then I'm going to blend it down my neck too. Contouring is something that I do daily, even if it's just to add a quick wash of colour. Because I'm so pale, it stops me from looking gaunt. I'm going in with a highlighter next, and this is going to complement the eye makeup look nicely. It has pinky purple flecks in it, which when they catch the light it looks really nice. So I've applied that to the tops of my cheeks, and if you want you can set the makeup with a spray. I'm not going to, I like to finish the foundation Gev, so I'm moving on to lips next, and I'm taking this lip lacquer, which is new in the line I think, and I'm applying a small amount because my lips are quite dry, and I'm blending it out with a lip brush. Jumping back to the eyes now, the reason why I left blending out the lower lash line was because I didn't want to apply my foundation afterwards and then cover up the nice blending we had done. So I'm taking black eyeshadow on the outer portion of the eye and then the purple on the inner corner of the eye, and then I'm softening everything with a blending brush. Lastly, I'm taking a mascara and I'm applying a few coats to my top and bottom lashes, and then that completes the look. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any other brands that you'd like to see featured, please let me know, and I'll see you all in my next video.